Hey, peace and blessings, everyone. You're now locked in with the baddest chaplain on the globe, Chris B. First and foremost, I want to thank you all so much for subscribing to us on YouTube, on baddestchaplain.substack.com, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you get podcasts. Our guest today is Racquel Dozier, founder of Lupus In Color. Now, Lupus In Color was founded in 2004 to cater to the needs of people of all colors of the rainbow, directly or indirectly affected with lupus. It's based in Henrico, Virginia, and it assists lupus warriors throughout the area and beyond. The main goal of Lupus In Color is to give positive hope to lupus warriors through love and encouragement, positive support and interactions, and exemplary empowered awareness. Rachel, thank you so much for your work, and welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's good to be here with you.
Oh, no, it's good to see you for sure, for sure. So talk us through this journey. What inspired you to create Lupus In Color?
Well, when I was diagnosed, I didn't really see anybody like me with lupus.
Yeah.
I didn't know what lupus was. I had heard of someone in college that had lupus and passed away. And I was like, I don't think I want that to be my
Right.
story,
Yeah.
So when I couldn't find someone like me that looked like me, that was able to tell me what was going on with my body and
Uh-huh.
lupus, I decided to create something for myself. And
Yeah.
it just kind of grew to encompass others. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was diagnosed, honestly, there were maybe one or two Black women that I've seen
Right.
here in Richmond with lupus. So I just was like, that just can't be right. If you're telling me that this happens to more Black women, why
Right.
aren't I seeing any? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I always say, out of necessity comes creativity.
That's a fact.
And I needed an outlet. I needed education. I needed awareness, and I needed to know what was going on. So I created Lupus In Color for that particular reason.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Now talk to me about the importance of positivity and hope in this fight against lupus. Because sometimes it feels so serious when we're having this conversation. You're saying all the facts, but and when you're talking about a chronic illness that currently doesn't have a cure, the
Right.
notion of being positive sounds like, what are you talking about right now? Like so,
Like, why?
like why
Yeah.
exactly? But from
Well,
your work, what makes it important?
I guess from my perspective is that whatever you focus on is going to grow. So
Come
in
on,
my
yeah,
mind, if I'm focusing on that pain and the troubles that lupus brings me all the time, that's what's going to grow and manifest in my body.
yeah,
For me, as a former athlete, I know that my mind and body connection are so strong.
right.
So I know what I input into my brain and what I say to myself, whatever words that I utter out of my mouth and put inside my brain are going to manifest in my body. Now, that doesn't say that I'm positive all the time, because I'm not. Surely I can get quite negative.
That's honest. I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, I can get as negative as the next nanny, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the reality is, what I've found is that you can't focus on what the problem is all the time.
Yeah, that's real.
It's just like if you were to if you're raising a child and you tell a child, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're
Come
stupid.
on.
Eventually a child's going to think that he or she is stupid.
Yeah.
And that's how they're going to live their lives, thinking that they're stupid. It's the same
Right.
thing as we talk to ourselves. Sometimes people say the most important conversation you have is with God. Sometimes I think the most important conversation is the one that you have with yourself, because God has given you that power
Right.
to speak to yourself in a specific way
Mhm.
that does not bring harm to you, but brings power to you.
Yeah.
So positivity for me is real important, and it's something that is so difficult to do in pain.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that I have a positive support system around me.
That's it.
And that positive support system reiterates what I need to do day to day to stay positive and stay ahead of what lupus can do to you, because it can really bring you down and get you depressed and all that nonsense.
No question. No question. You know what you're saying, Raquel. It reminds me so much of what I was telling my loved ones after my second flare, where I was like, I don't think I would have made it if I was negative. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I was in the hospital being like, "This is it, y'all. Like I'm done." I
Right.
think that's what would have happened. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
exactly.
yeah. So I'm
Exactly.
here.
I mean,
I'm
we
here
had
for it.
people don't realize how much power your mind has over your body. You
Yeah.
know, it's like the mind body connection is so in tune. And even as an athlete, we were taught that, your
Right. Right.
mind will psych you out before your body will.
That's the truth.
you know
That's the
so
truth.
like you said, if you're in a hospital and you're like, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna make it, most likely you're not.
You ain't gonna make it. Exactly it.
Yeah. Yeah, it,
Exactly
it
it.
it makes a difference how you talk to yourself
Right.
and what you feel and what you say to yourself. It's just so important to just speak life over yourself as opposed to death.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, what would you describe your encouragement style as? Like when you think about encouraging yourself and others, like what's your style?
I'm kind of head on with myself.
Yeah.
It's like I posted something on my website the other day about it was the guy from what was it? The guys that were getting drunk or something. I can't remember the name of the
Uh huh.
movie, but the part in that movie was he said to himself, "But did you die?"
Oh, The Hangover. Yes.
The hangover, the hangover.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I know it hurt, but did
Did
you
you die?
die? Yeah. And that's really my encouragement style for myself.
I
But
was
girl, did you die? You still
like,
here. You're telling the story. So
yeah,
there's no reason for you to even rehash what happened before to make you feel so uncomfortable in your own skin.
yeah.
It really is the fact that did you die? No?
Get you.
Okay, so keep going.
Just keep it
And that's
pushing.
how I am with myself. And then, like I said, sometimes I can get down on myself. But
Mm,
like I said, I have a really good support system around me. My
yeah.
husband, my son, they are like the jokesters of every
Yes.
every joke you can ever imagine they've seen
That's
and
it.
they've said and they've done in a hospital.
Right.
So, just keeping that positive spirit around me
Mhm.
and keeping that encouragement around me,
Got you.
I find that myself is just like straight on. You didn't die, so keep it moving.
Keep pushing. Keep it pushing. I'm with
Yeah.
you. What's the interaction with the lupus warrior that has stayed with you throughout the years? Like something someone said or even something they did that just sticks with you?
I think recently I've been holding a Walktober event.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've been walking every single day.
Right.
And it's an adaptive walk for
Yeah.
people who have lupus.
Right.
And a young lady said to me that she did one of her lupus walks in her town and could barely make it across the finish line.
Come on. Yeah.
But when she saw that we were doing the walk, it motivated her to continue walking.
Yeah.
And now she's able to walk 10 minutes a day, without any issues and without any, special assistance. But
Yeah.
she can walk more than she was able to walk when she started that walk event in her area.
Come
So
on.
that type things like that kind of sticks
Yeah.
with me and really, really helps me to go myself.
That's
You
it.
know, it just really inspired. They inspire me more than I inspire myself.
I'm with you. I'm with
You
you.
know, and I'm a
That's
woman
it.
of a certain age, so I just turn on my fan. So if it's bothering you,
Oh no, you good. You good.
you let me
I love
know.
you said that so smooth. You said that so smooth. It's cool. It's cool. You do what you gotta do. Listen, I was preaching this morning, and the place where I preached had like almost like Broadway lights, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm about to do like the revival pad up here. I'm just like,
Right?
I had like the robe
Like
on
good
too.
Lord.
I was like, this tradition, they don't understand slaying in the spirit. I might just pass out. They gonna call the ambulance. That's all that's gonna happen.
It's like, no, that's not the spirit. It's those lights. That's all.
I'm dehydrated up here.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the most, I think those interactions where someone is telling me that they've gleaned something from what I've said, or they've started a habit that
Yeah.
helps them be healthier beyond lupus,
Right. Right.
that just makes my day.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care if I don't speak to another person. If someone comes back and says something like that to me, I'm just like, that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
It's about teaching people how to cope with lupus and understand their body with lupus
Come on.
and understand what their limitations are. Because we all want to be, what we were before lupus.
Of course. Of course.
We yearn for that.
Yeah.
And I think my goal really is to teach people that it's okay to yearn for that person that you used to be, but you can only live in the person that you are now.
Ain't that the truth?
And
Ain't that the truth?
the most important time is right now, not yesteryear or yesterday.
Nah, you can't, because then you find yourself chasing a ghost.
Right. Absolutely. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to be the person that you were.
No.
And that's with anything. That's not even even if you don't have lupus.
Right,
You're not gonna be the 20-year-old that you were, hanging out and doing all the crazy stuff.
Your life
now
has
I'm
changed.
by 10. Are you kidding me? No.
Come
we're
on.
not doing what we used to do 20 years ago.
No. and I think it's the whole thing about, you're hitting on such a great point. It's the whole thing about looking forward and finding new things. Because there's things that, I'm always amazed by the way, like, number one, lupus is awful, right? It's a disease. I'm not trying to make it sound like great, but like, I've met so many dope people in this journey, like wonderful people. I feel like it's allowed me to tap into a deeper sense of compassion and empathy that maybe I would have gotten there anyway, but like this really like catalyzed it. It made it like happen faster. So there's a lot of opportunities for gratitude, even in the midst of something that's an unfortunate situation, something that I would not want someone else to have. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I tell everybody, sometimes lupus is just a blessing that was given to me.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? An illness is a blessing? Yeah. Because like you said, I would never be able to speak to the amount of people that I speak to day to day if I did not have lupus.
Right.
I would not have stopped running crazy.
That part.
If I had not gotten lupus, because sometimes some things they sit you down. You're not listening. Okay, not a problem. This is what you're gonna have to deal with, so that you can sit down and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So it really makes a difference how you have to look at it and your perception of it, and how you really respond to lupus.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, well, you must don't have many lupus issues. No, I have a lot of lupus issues. But like we said earlier, what you focus on is going to grow. If I continue to focus on those horrible issues, then I'm not going to be able to grow in my life or anything beyond lupus, because I'm going to sit in that pain. And pain is no fun to be sitting in. So
no, surely is not. Surely is not. That is the truth. That is the truth.
But people really don't understand, like, when you have a chronic illness, how it is somewhat of a blessing.
Yeah.
Somewhat of a blessing and a curse, of course. We all have our cross that we have to bear. It just so happens that my cross is lupus.
That's it.
Rheumatoid arthritis, type 2 diabetes. I've got it all. Whatever you want, scleritis, everything.
Right.
That's fine. I'll put that cross on my back and I'll do what God has told me to do with it.
Yeah.
Instead of staying in my pain, isolating myself, I have to go out and do more to teach people about it and to help myself,
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. What have you seen since the time of your diagnosis to the present moment? How have you seen the conversation around lupus evolve?
That's a good question. It's evolved a lot more than what it was when I was first diagnosed.
Yeah.
More people are speaking out. I find that more people, I guess, are finding out that they have lupus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it begins to shift. More doctors are undiagnosing. Does that make sense to you?
Come on.
I have found that within the past 5 or 6 years, doctors are undiagnosing people with lupus because they don't know how to treat it.
Yeah.
So they're saying that they have, oh, no, you have connective tissue disorder.
Right.
Oh, no, you have MS. They're changing diagnosis.
Wow.
To fit what they know how to treat. Yeah. And I'm noticing that more and more people are saying, oh, my doctor said I don't have lupus anymore. My numbers are great, and I don't have lupus anymore. I have such and such, such and such. When it's in fact, it is lupus.
Wow.
It's just that doctors are not understanding how to treat lupus since it's so varied from person to person.
Mhm.
But that's one conversation that has been constant within the past 5 or 6 years that I've been hearing, that doctors are not really even tackling the issue of lupus. Yes, it's being talked about more. It's being seen more in the media,
Right.
but on a one-to-one level, on people that are dealing with it, they're
Mhm.
having troubles, getting diagnosed. They're having
Yeah.
trouble if they switch a doctor, and now the doctor's saying that they no longer have lupus. They had
Wow.
this. It's a weird conversation that's going on with lupus.
Sure,
So
sure.
it's interesting.
Yeah. Totally, totally.
Yeah,
That
and
is
we got to be
fascinating.
aware of that. We have to be aware of how even we are talking about lupus, because you do have some lupus words that say, "Oh, I've been cured. I've been cured by the diet. I've been cured by this."
Right.
And sometimes we have to be more responsible with how we talk about it, and how we relate that to people. It's incurable.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
chronic illness. It's
Right.
not like a cold. It's not like I'm going to get over it. It's
Yeah, yeah.
something that I'm always going to be dealing with. Yes, I'm going to be feeling better, but the reality is anything can cause a flare.
Right.
So I think the more we educate people, the better that conversation is going to be. Even the doctors in the hospitals and the ERs and all of that.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, because I think we have to sort of guard against, we talked about hope and encouragement. We have to guard against like false hope.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
because I remember there was a time whenever usually around like, fundraising for like the lupus walk and stuff like that, and I'd be
Hmm.
posting about lupus, and I would get these bots who would post like cure for lupus like immediately after, and I'd always delete it because I'm not gonna click the link. I don't know what it is, but
Right.
to me it was like I put myself in the shoes of a person who was first getting diagnosed, and I remember
Right.
just like the chaos it brought to my life when I was like 20
Hmm.
something. And you wish someone would just like I remember saying to my wife then, like, I wish someone would just come by with like a golden pill, be like, here's the cure. Right?
Right. Right.
And
Right.
so if
Exactly.
someone's saying under a YouTube comment or something, here's the cure, who among us wouldn't at least be curious about it? So I just
Exactly.
think about that sense of like not promoting false hope is important,
Yeah. Exactly. And not false hope in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Even with like diets and things like that. Just understand it's so unpredictable,
Right.
and we don't know how to cure lupus yet. So we have to really learn to control our symptoms
Yeah, yeah.
and cope with the issues that come along with it. Because sometimes you could do everything correctly and you can
That's it.
do what these people are claiming is a cure.
Right.
You use the herbs, you keep stress free,
That's
you
it.
know what I'm saying, you
That's
you
it.
eat the right foods, you don't drink soda.
Right.
You do everything right, but tomorrow you could be flat on your butt in a flare because it's a
Yeah,
chronic illness. you
exactly.
know and once people understand that for themselves,
Mhm.
they can not get pandered by or preyed upon
Right. Come
by
on.
people who are claiming these false cures. There's always going to be somebody out there, "Oh, my product can cure lupus. Could you tell me what lupus is first?"
Right.
"Oh, no, I don't really know, but I know my product cures it." Well,
Mm,
don't
I
sell
don't know.
me don't sell me a dream.
Right. Seriously.
Because I would eat nails if it would cure my
Come on,
lupus.
right.
You
Put the
know,
nails in a
And,
blender.
yeah, everything that you're saying has already been said, and I'm still here having lupus. So,
That's it. That's it. I hear that for sure. Um, so outside of your work, outside of doing Lupus in Color, how do you find yourself spending your time?
mostly with my family. I spend
Yeah,
a lot of time with my family, my immediate family. My brother's still here. I'm part of a sorority. I do those things, and mostly reading,
gotcha.
movies with my husband.
Yeah,
It's such a simple life now, you
that's
know?
it. That's it.
I remember the days of being 20 years old and partying and having a good time, and
Right.
now I'm just happy to be home, going to a movie, reading a book.
Listen.
We've got this new thing that we do now with this AI. It's like AI music on YouTube, and they
Okay.
have they have this like fancy setting, and it just plays all this beautiful music, and you could just sit there and read all day. And we found ourselves doing stuff like that.
That's all
You know
right.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So, but I do a lot of just corny old folk stuff.
That listen, folks, self-described. Because what was making me laugh is like Raquel and I have the similar itinerary. I watch movies, I read books. I'm not
Yeah.
calling it corny. I think my life is fly, but to each his own. To each
Right,
their own.
right, right, right. Yeah, I'm always good for a good time. I'm excited because we're new, empty nesters. My son
Oh yeah, yeah.
recently moved out, so it's like, what do you do with yourself now that you're
That's
not
it.
living for your kids?
Right, right, right.
So
I got all this
it's
time on my
always
hands.
fun that we're starting to relearn what we
Beautiful.
like to do in this age that we are.
That's it. That's it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
What do you find is your hope for the world in this particular moment?
Mm, that's a loaded question, brother.
Oh yeah, yeah. But you got paths. You could take,
Yeah, yeah,
whichever
yeah.
one you want.
There are everybody would say, "Oh, world peace" and things
Right.
like that.
Right.
I just want people to be happy,
Yeah.
and to be able to be kind to one another.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times we focus on the bigger picture of having peace and no war and things like that. And
Right.
those are lofty goals
For
that
sure.
probably will never happen.
Mm-hmm.
But what can happen is being kind to another. What can
Yeah.
happen is to be happy. What can happen is to really just love one another
No doubt.
just as you are.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't try and change anybody. Just be who you are and love the person that you are.
Yeah. That's wise.
So I think that's what I see, you know, day to day is just loving yourself enough that you can be kind and love others the same
Mm-hmm.
way.
That's it. That's well said. That's really well said.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to ask you a question. I ask this to every guest on Baddest Chaplain. It's I want you to imagine that you're hosting a dinner. You can invite 4 guests. They can be dead or living, fictional or real people. Raquel, who are you inviting? Who are you bringing to dinner?
Well, I'm definitely bringing my mom back, my father back,
There we
and my
go.
sister who just recently passed away.
My condolences.
I
Yeah.
want them all at the table together.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I want to see what they all gonna say. And I don't know about the last one. I'm sure most people say, "Oh, I would love to bring God or Jesus." No, I talk to him every day. So I think I don't know. My fourth person, I'd probably just bring my husband with me to
That's
that
cool.
table because he's never met my mother or my father.
Come on. Okay.
So
Okay.
I would love to see what that conversation would be like.
Right.
Like what would the interaction be?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
would definitely it would be my husband, my sister, my mother, and my father.
A family affair.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Because that conversation would be very
Oh,
interesting.
for
Very
sure. For
interesting.
sure. A lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Catching up and learning one another. So yeah, I do those 4.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny you
Absolutely.
mentioned like people would bring God or Jesus. I was like, yeah, I think Jesus is like neck and neck with Dr. King in this question for people. Like people, I gotta keep a scoreboard. I know Dr. King is in the top 3, but Jesus is close.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't even pontificate with Dr. King or
Right?
Jesus, like in person. Nah,
Yeah,
nah,
yeah.
nah.
Like I
I'm
just
I'm a
listen to
good
y'all.
communicator, but not like that. I need somebody I can have a one-on-one like easy.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. Like I can't be talking with a textbook, a scripture. You know what I
Right, right. I don't want to have to look it up and, be embarrassed because I don't know what it is.
mean? That's it. That's fair. That's really fair. So
Yeah,
how can
yeah.
we support Lupus in Color? How can we learn more about what you're doing and act like what are the things? I know you talked about it earlier, and as we're recording this, October is getting ready to wrap up, where you had
Hmm.
the Walktober event. But any other
Hmm.
events or initiatives or just general ways we can support Lupus in Color?
I mean, yeah, you can just, join us on our website at lupusincolor.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can always contact me, Racquel H. Dozier at Lupus in Color. Our events are listed on our website
Okay.
and on all social media outlets, and it's all at Lupus in Color.
Great.
So this month we're wrapping up Walktober,
Yeah.
like we talked about, that integrated walk event. We're going to be doing walk events in the park in November, as well as gratitude journaling
Oh, I
and
like
our
that.
local support group.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we have a couple of events coming up. We're gonna have a mocha and mingle
Okay.
in November. Yeah. We're going to also do the gratitude journaling. That's going to be a 30-day activity. And then, the other little things that we do online is a lot of encouragement, education, and things like that.
Mhm.
So, and, we're always open to having your donations because it does cost money to run
Right, right, right.
and do all these events and
Yeah.
things like that and to keep the internet on and things like that. But basically in November and December, we do gratitude journaling, the actual support group, and the walk events in the park. Since it's going to start getting cold, so.
Right, right. Exactly it.
But
Exactly
yeah,
it.
you can find us on the internet, lupusincolor.com,
That's
and
it.
Lupus in Color on all the social media outlets, including LinkedIn. My son just taught me how to do that, so that's a whole
And
new.
LinkedIn, it's growing. It's not the sexiest of social media sites, right? Like it
Yeah,
feels
I
very
don't know.
work,
Yeah.
but listen, the response, like the computers are Putin on LinkedIn. I'll just say that they're working. They're working.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Well, I'm new to LinkedIn, but you can sure enough check us out over there too.
That's it.
I'm trying.
That's it. Y'all hear it.
It-
Y'all hear it. Lupus in Color
so.
on LinkedIn and all the different social and lupusincolor.com. Like it's really important work you're doing. I'm thankful and
Oh,
grateful for
thank
the
you so
work and,
much.
and for your time for sure.
I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me today.
Oh, no worries. Of course, of course. And thank you all so much for listening and watching on YouTube, on Spotify, listening on Apple Podcasts and everywhere you get podcasts. Please make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to us on baddestchaplain.substack.com. We've been sharing a lot of the podcasts, but also a lot of the writing, and just really good work is happening over there. So if you haven't checked us out over there, please make sure you do. And thank you so much for being with us today. And until next time, be safe, y'all. Take care.
Peace.
Peace.